Hi, I'm Debbie Hartner. I'm Elsie Johnson, and we are two sisters, Southern Cooking. I have had so many requests for this recipe, so I decided to make a video of it on its own so I can post it because I know you guys want to hear what we have to say about this. So I'm doubling my recipe for my buttermilk pie crust. So I'm going to go ahead and take my white lily flour, all-purpose flour, and I'm going to go ahead and put 5 cups of all-purpose flour in here. Because I am making tops and bottoms of a 9x13 baking pan. And I am going to go ahead and make double the normal. So I have the butter, have salt. So I'm going to do 2 tablespoons sugar, because remember I'm doubling it up, and I'm going to do 2 teaspoons of salt, and 4 sticks of butter. So I'm making more than I normally make because we want to fill this 9x13. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of like whisk this together with my hands, and then I'm going to cut up my butter. Then I'm going to take the butter after it's nice and flaky, and I'm going to put it in the freezer for 15 minutes, and then I will take it out, roll it out, and then put it in my pie crust into my pan, and then put it in the refrigerator for an hour. And then we'll get it out and we're going to make our chicken pot pie with this. So I'm just cutting up my butter. Actually, I'm just going to just start breaking it apart with my hands. Save time. You can do with it what you want. It's your recipe. So guys, I have a video that Roz Fulton and Teresa Werner from Philadelphia had made for me for my service to frontline work as an emergency room nurse during the COVID-19 crisis. And it went to the Philadelphia Film Festival, and we're still waiting for the results of that, if we've won. And Roz just sent me a text, tried to call me while we were filming. Sorry, Roz. And she said that it was sent to the Ellen DeGeneres show for my service. I'm very honored and humbled that people love me enough that they want to be able to say thank you. And I'm more grateful for what other people do for me, not for what I do to my community, because I have been a nurse so long that it seems like it's just every day for me. It's not something that I need to be honored. It's my duty to society to be a nurse and to take care of the sick and the afflicted. This is an ugly virus, and I know a lot of people out there who is sick from it right now. I see a surge in patients in the emergency room, so I just want you guys to be safe and healthy, take care of yourself, love one another. And to Roz for relentlessly wanting to get the word out about how tireless healthcare providers work on the front line, and the thanks. I can't say thank you enough, Roz. I can't say thank you enough, Teresa, for producing and editing this video. She's an amazing editor. And she's also a novelist and writer and a general all-around good person. She is a sweetheart. So I've got all my butter in there, so now I'm just going to put my hands in there and just squeeze everything together until I have like all of the flour incorporated. It's probably one of the easiest recipes that I've ever worked with. And then once we get it out of the refrigerator, we'll go ahead and put the buttermilk in, and we will get it in the freezer again, let it harden up so when it melts, oh my God, this is like the smoothest recipe for your pie crust or your chicken pot pie, and it's just so smooth. This is going to be crumbly, almost like cornmeal when you're done with it. I'm going to show it to you in just a moment. I'm just trying to smash up the large pieces so it's not like all clumped together. Just want to make it a little more, it's going to be like cornmeal. So I was talking earlier about traditions that we have in the home for the holidays and stuff. And one of those traditions was Mom's bread dressing. She also made an oyster dressing too. I don't know if you guys ever used oysters in a dressing before, but our dad loved it. He was a biggest fan of oyster dressing. And we used to eat that when we were kids. It was a holiday treat. We didn't get it like during the year. It was one of those things that you got in the holiday because it was special. So little things like that make me miss my dad. Love him and miss him so much. He passed away in 2006 from Agent Orange and left such a big impact on our lives. Every last one of us, from son-in-laws to children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. He had a big impact on us, and we miss him greatly. All right, so this is what it looks like when it's ready to go into the freezer. I'm going to leave it in the freezer for about 15 minutes, and then we'll get out the buttermilk because we want it nice and cold. And then we'll put the buttermilk in it, roll it out, put it in our 9x13 pan, and then we'll go from there. And I'll see you guys when we come back. So it's been in the freezer for 15 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and put in my cup of buttermilk, and we're going to go ahead and start to mix this together here because I've already got my flour out here on the counter, and I've already got my rolling pin floured up, so I'm ready to go. I want to get this moving and shaking. So I'm going to go ahead and mix this in, get it all mixed together. Sometimes you have to adjust your buttermilk, so there might be a possibility that I have to add more buttermilk to this to make sure that it's all well combined. I don't want it to be tacky, but I don't want it to be dry and crumbly either. So I'm going to try to make sure I have everything mixed in here. I'm doing it with my hands. You can use it with a pastry cutter. You can use it with a fork, spoon, whatever you want. I'm just going to go ahead and Get it all mixed together. Mostly when it sticks together like this, you know it's ready to go and get rolled out. But there's a few pieces on the bottom that is pretty crumbly. So I'm going to go ahead and finish mixing that up and then we'll roll it out. This crust, I don't know how many times I've used this crust recipe. It's been quite a bit. I love it. I think it's probably one of the tastiest crusts that I've ever made. And it's very smooth. So we are just going to go ahead and put it out here. Make sure we got it all ready to go. I might have to add a little bit more buttermilk to this. Give me just a second and I'll put a little buttermilk in it. Just want to do a splash. Just a splash. Because you have to adjust it based on the amount of flour you have too. You want to make sure that it's all put together pretty nice. So I'm going to be splitting this dough into two here because it's a top and it's a bottom. And I want to make sure that we have enough for both. Look at that. That is beautiful. All right. So let me just go ahead and pinch it off here. Split it in two. Put one aside. Just going to put some flour down. Don't have it sticking to our parchment paper. All right. And we'll put this aside because we'll have to roll that out next. So you may have to adjust this per your needs. I have just give you a basic recipe and then you have to adjust it to what you need as far as whether or not you need to add more buttermilk or whatnot. But you need to add it as needed if you need more. Look at this texture on this. This is so nice. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start rolling this out. I was hoping that the parchment paper would work on this, but I think it isn't. So we're just going to have to just put this on my rolling pin here. I don't have it sticking. And you will see chunks of butter in your dough. Don't be alarmed when you see that, because that will melt when it's in the pan. And so you're going to bake it on your time, that whatever your pie ingredients tells you to bake it, you just bake it for that time period and you will get a delicious, delicious crust. And I'll be back when I get it ready to go into the pan, and we'll be getting our chicken ready to go into the pan with it. So it's going to be so good. We'll be right back, guys. So I learned a little hack trick to help me with my pie dough and getting it into the pie pan. So I'm going to go ahead and roll this up and then put this directly into my pan before I put it in the freezer. That way I don't have to roll it out again. It's a one-stop shop and it's done. And we'll go ahead and get it in there and let it sit in the freezer for the hour. And we'll come back, just put our filling in, and we'll be ready to go.
Nancy.
And I'm Debbie.
With Two Sisters Southern Cooking.
We thank you for visiting our page.